Hey, what's up, Steeler fans and everybody else? It's me, Big Papa D, and we're here today with Mitch. What we're going to do is we're going to be giving you mid-season grades for the Steelers this year. Okay, mid-season grades for the Steelers. Right now, the Steelers are 5-3, doing probably better than I expected at the beginning of the year. Some things are worse, some things are much better. Mitch?
I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, there's a lot of shocking things that are on both sides of this team. I also believe that, you and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things with this. I think that just from maybe a different viewpoint and a different perspective.
I think it's generational.
Yeah, I think so. That's very fair.
I think we're going to find out that the younger generation is more connected to feelings.
I mean, we can go with that.
The older generation, I'm a stats guy and a prove-me guy.
Yeah,
right?
I would agree with that.
All right, so we're going to start out with offense. Mitch, you want to start?
I mean, I'm going to go probably towards a C+ for the offense. I mean, the passing side of things...
That seems low. Go ahead.
The passing side of things is great to a fault because the drops are bad with this team. I know that...
Did you say drops are bad?
Yeah, drops are bad. Drops.
Like drops as in...
Receivers dropping the ball.
Okay, literally.
There's a drops problem. I thought we were done with the Deontay drops in effect. Instead, it's DK drop calf. I think that the less polarizing receivers are doing more with the ball when it's thrown to them instead of this big megastar receiver that we paid $30 million over the next 5 years.
I think with DK, I think the problem is for the first time in DK's career, we're doing things with DK that he's not used to do. DK's used to being that burner, that's burning down the field, catching long passes, deep seams, deep outs, flags. And what we're doing now is he's running these short slants, he's running these quick hitters, and it's not something he's accustomed to. So the ball, and this was said in the last broadcast, there's a very big possibility that Aaron processes things much faster than his receivers could do. Because how many times does he throw in the ball and the receivers look like they're absolutely not ready for the ball to come?
They are clueless. And I think there is a fault in that to maybe just the lack of readiness that this offense has been over the last 3 to 4 years. I don't know if you can necessarily blame Arthur Smith or if you can blame the defensive preparations that this team makes week after week after week, to which, maybe the offense gets a little pushed to the wayside, but...
Okay, do you have anything else to state your case? Would you say C+?
C+? Yeah, because the run game is nearly non-existent. I mean, you've had a combined 646 yards, I want to say, up to the midpoint, and you're doing a running back by committee. Why are we not closer to the 800 to 900 yard mark right now? Why, with as promising of an offensive line that we've been told we drafted, why are we not higher?
I feel like I have to take your things point by point. Why are we not at 800 or 900 yards? Have you noticed in some games, like the Packers game, the run game was cooking?
Yeah.
But we just went away from it. That's happened
I'll agree.
multiple times this year. I think that Aaron is calling more of the show. He's more apt to throw the ball than he is to run the ball. And I just think that that's been the focus of the offense more than the running game. Even when the running games, I forget, one game they were averaging like 10 yards a carry, and we went away from the running game.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. The problem is, at this point, maybe the reverse of what you said, maybe at this point I'm being more critical due to statistic rather than feeling. Because at this point, I feel like with this group of backs, we should be higher.
I'll get to more in depth on the running game later on. Is that your case being made there? Are you done? Can I start my grade now?
Yeah.
Okay, I give the offense a B-. First, let me give you the bad. They're 28th in yards per game. They're 21st in passing. They're 29th in rushing. But they're 11th in scoring. So all those things equate to one of the best scoring offenses in football. The Steelers right now are averaging 25.3 points a game. That is the highest since 2020, Ben's last year, when they averaged 26 points a game. The Steelers are on pace right now to score over 400 points this year for the first time since 2020. Also, so the proof is in the pudding. They're not, lighting it up by any stretch of imagination. But I think that is because the Steelers have gotten up by double-digit leads in 4 games this year. In all 4 games, Mike Tomlin has called the dogs off and got super conservative.
I would agree.
Instead of just running it up. The last game's a perfect example. We were up 27-7 at one point in that game, and we just dinked and dunked and ran the ball the rest of the way. It's not aggressive whatsoever. So Mike gotta have a close game for whatever reason. The reason I give it a B+, number one, I think the passing game is far beyond what we can expect. Everybody thought Aaron was washed up. The running game, like I said, is not being used as effectively as it could be, or as much as it could be.
Everything about what you said I can agree with. But what happens when you're in these big games with the Buffaloes and the Kansas Cities of the world? Does this offense, to you, feel like something that can compete with
Buffalo's
those teams?
defense isn't that good.
No, it's not.
Tons of teams have put big points on them. Kansas City, we'll find out.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
I think for the first time since Ben left, we have an offense that can score with these teams.
Yes, I agree.
Which is a lot considering what we've had to deal with the last few years.
Yep.
We're scoring 3 points more than last year's team. And before that, the team was averaging 17 points a game. So we're over 8 points more since Ben, like I said, in that whole regime, except for last year where Russell for a minute was throwing the ball like a crazy person. But besides that, like I said, this is something we haven't enjoyed in a long time. All right, let's move on to defense.
So for my defense as a total, I went with a C+. I feel as if this defense was A, overhyped, and B, it doesn't execute at the level it's supposed to. I feel as if...
That's a freaking understatement.
What's that?
That's an understatement.
Yeah, no, completely. I think when you look at it from all 3 levels, your defensive line, which you obviously focused on heavy in the draft, it's not generating the pressure that it's supposed to outside of a few glimpses. The run game in games where it's not supposed to be featured, this defensive line allows it to happen. And I think this secondary is suspect in big moments. So I think all of that combined, I just give it a C+.
Okay, a couple of your points you made there. I think the rush game, from certain people, we're not getting the production we want, but as a whole, the rush game's pretty much on pace for where they always are. They are 3rd, I think, in the league in sacks. So, I mean, they're right in there. The run game, now, there's teams like Cincinnati and teams that are going to throw the ball. We're a nickel the entire time. Now, in the beginning of the year, we were just getting shredded by anybody. Jets ran all over us, out of a normal set and out of our base defense. But I think that this last game, they simplified the defense, and I think it paid off. And there's something to be said about Jalen Ramsey at safety.
Yes.
Where at his age, he might not be able to chase people. Yeah. But him going downhill and reading the play, because his intelligence and his ability to read the offense is his number one asset. I think he found a home for himself at safety.
I think that free safety position for him is a match made in heaven.
Okay, so my grade was a C. Now, for me to get to a C was I literally changed this grade 4 times. I started out as a D minus, but I'll go through that process when we go. First of all, the team is 28th in yards per game, yards given up per game. They're giving up 383 yards a game. They're dead last in passing yards allowed per game at 278. Their run defense has leveled out and is 14th, so it's a little bit better than average as far as the league goes. I think that we've had glimpses of the run game, run defense working. I think since Harmon came back, it has gotten much better. Also, now with Highsmith back, our best tackling outside linebacker, I think the run defense is going to solidify itself. Except, once again, when you go against a passing team, then your defense isn't, your base defense is going to be more of a nickel look there. They've also, they're 21st in points per game, giving up 24.4. Just recently, they were dead even with their points per game, with the amount of points they've given up. But now, with a good game against Indianapolis, that's kind of took a step in the
taking a step in the right direction.
Right direction. Yeah. The problem with grading this team, it's the most expensive defense in football. I want to give them an F. I want to give them a D minus. But their sacks are, I will get into the position groups and the reasons why I came to this decision, but my grade right now is a C.
Do you feel that you're getting the, $150 million?
160.
160. I believe it's even closer to 165 now.
No. Hell no.
No, hell no.
Do you think we're getting the worth out of it? Because to me, I see huge names. Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey. You signed Jabril Peppers a little earlier in the season. You traded for Kyle Duggar.
He's on a milk carton right now.
Deshaun Elliott, Brandon Eccles.
Eccles is playing well.
Yeah, Eccles now is playing.
I think
well.
he's our slot for the rest of the way.
I actually think they're going to put him.
I think Ramsey's staying
until
no, he's going to be a slot. I think Ramsey's going to stay at safety, and Eccles is going to be the slot going forward.
Until we get to a little later in this little thing that we're doing, I think there is help coming, but I think even it weighs more to the total.
I can't wait because I think I know what you're going to say, and I'm going to laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we're moving on to the quarterback position.
Okay. I laugh at this grade because people between, where I work, people that I talk to in my everyday life, they were like, it's not going to happen, this, that, and the other. This person's too old. This person's too gray. He can't move. It was all excuses of why not. The quarterback plays an A. It's an A. 17 touchdowns to 5 interceptions at this point in the year. There's, in my opinion, for the situation he's been put in, there's nobody better. For the situation he's in, for some lackluster playmaking ability in some places with this offense, a young, not inexperienced, but not real chemically wound offensive line, there's something to be said about the performance of Aaron Rodgers. There's something to be said that maybe even so much as an MVP conversation again. I wouldn't hate that because at this point, I really don't think there's better play right now than Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. So you would take Patty Mahomes right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
That's insane.
No, I wouldn't.
That's insane. Do you get drug tested?
Yes. But let me tell you why.
Okay, do you need to start taking drugs?
Okay. Well, if I'm not mistaken, the best quarterback in the league has the same record as this team. He's 27. Aaron's 41.
I would take Patty just because of that.
Well, that's fine. I'm not going to disagree with
At
you.
this point, I'd take Daniel Jones.
I
Or somebody
would
like that. I want a quarterback for life.
Because you just saw what Daniel Jones is on Sunday.
Oh, or the other 7 games is who he was.
Well, technically, you would have seen him in 8.
I'm saying the other 7 games he won.
Yeah, no, I get that. But the thing of it all is, when you boil it down, I don't think another quarterback wins you this many games as Aaron does. I think you said it best a little bit ago. Aaron processes things so fast.
Oh, he's the best brain in football. He always has been. He is the best. I mean, and honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback of all time. Tom's got the rings. But
Aaron has the ability.
I think I mean, Aaron has Tom's brain and the ability. Now, Aaron has a wild streak in him that Tom doesn't have that might get him in trouble occasionally. But actually, Aaron has the lowest, the best rating between interceptions to touchdowns in NFL history.
Yeah.
So, all right, my grade is an A-. I didn't want you to think I was looking down on Aaron. I'm not. He's playing so much better than I expected from him. But to say that you wouldn't take any other quarterback, that's crazy talk. But you're allowed to be crazy. All right, so right now he's 21st in yards per game, passing yards per game, but we don't throw it a ton. 17th in completion. Is that right? 17th in completion percentage? No, 10th in completion percentage. 17th in completions. Because, like I said, he doesn't throw it a lot. He's 10th in completion percentage at 68.7, which is pretty freaking good, considering that he doesn't have a whole lot of skill at the wide receiver position. And basically, other than Freiermuth, he's dealing with tight ends that are Johnny Smith. He's throwing the ball to Washington a ton. Like you said, we've had a lot of drops. So 68.7 is pretty impressive. And he has 17 touchdowns in 8 games. He was on pace for 40, but I mean, he's probably looking at a solid 35 plus, which is much more than we've had in centuries. Like I said, we haven't seen this kind of quarterback play since Ben Roethlisberger left the team. His passer rating is 103, which I believe is top 8 in the league right now. So he's doing better than I could have ever imagined. He'll probably be around for one more year so we can figure out what we're doing at the quarterback position for the future.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you was, do you see him coming back in another year?
If we win the Super Bowl, no.
Okay, that's reasonable.
If we win a playoff game, yes.
Yeah. So if it's in the in-between, he's coming back. If he finishes the job, he's not.
All right, now we're going to move on to running backs.
So, you or me first?
I can go first.
Yeah.
All right, right now I got the running backs at a C+. Here's the reasons. Jaylen Warren is 25th in the league with 404 yards. He's getting 4.1 a carry. That's a good thing because we've been sub-4 with our main running back, Najee Harris, for years and years and years. Let me move on to the other stats. Kenneth Gainwell has 220 yards. He's averaging 4.2. We've had 5 touchdowns total from our running backs. And like I said, they're 27th or 28th in the league. I forget what I said earlier. They are 29th in the league, which is not good. I think it's lack of opportunity. But you would figure that equals, I said C+, that would equal a D or an F. So why not? Why, Big Papa? Why aren't you giving such a bad grade? Because together they have 49 receptions for 312 yards. So combined, they're at basically 1,000 yards this year combined in 8 games, and that's pretty freaking impressive. You put that together, because the Steelers have always been a one-back feature offense. So if this was Najee Harris, and you told me at the halfway point, Najee Harris had 600 yards rushing and 400 yards receiving, almost 400 yards receiving, you would be, that's an all-pro year, and you're super happy with that.
Yep.
So I've got to give them at least a C+ for that reason.
I went grade lower, I went C-. And I said that because those stats with this offense, very respectable. There are still mistakes. You know, between just being youthful and not reading blocks well, for, a young Mr. Johnson.
He has like 5 carries.
Well, we were getting there. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna hang this one on him a little bit. I haven't forgotten the kick return.
That's stupid.
I have not forgotten the kick return.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult you.
No, you're right. But you know what? This isn't a team that you can make those types of mistakes on.
No NFL team is
Right.
a team you can.
So, I mean, if you're a pro, you're expected to not make these mistakes.
It's one play, dude.
I know. But one play can change your entire career.
It didn't.
I know. It may not have yet.
He got a couple touches last game.
And he looked good.
Did well.
He looked very good. And I hope this grade goes up by the end of the year. Because it has the opportunity to. But as it stands, I'm not as impressed as I feel I would have been. Because it feels like they break big runs and then they just kind of fizzle out because defenses are expecting this run game. They are expecting us to lean heavily on a rushing attack with a 41-year-old quarterback. And I just, even though, teams are expecting it, I'm not as impressed as I should be.
I think if you looked at the amount of carries we have, I think that this year, our mix is always pretty much 50-50. I think that our mix is probably 60-40 this year. I just think that we went away from the run game when it was effective and working too many times this year. But if you look at the average is what it is, 4.1, 4.2. That will get you a first down on 3 carries.
Get your first down on 3 carries.
I mean, so that's all you can really wish for. Yeah, I want more from that. And I'll talk about the rookie later on in the thing.
Yeah.
I was expecting more.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to O-line. I gave the offensive line a B. The offensive line started out pretty shaky, but they have established themselves now as one of the better offensive lines in football. They've kept Aaron pretty much clean. I mean, a couple sacks a game. What are you going to expect? A lot of times when Aaron gets sacked, it's probably because of coverage. He stands back there, doesn't see what he wants, and then tries to get away. And he's not as spry as he used to be, even though he's moving better than I ever thought he would. Yeah. But the O-line has improved. Like I said, the run game's not where we want it, but the run game has been doing pretty much okay in every game. Early on, it was terrible. But since then, we've pretty much established that they can run the ball when they want to, especially when we went to the jumbo package with Mr. Washington and Mr. Anderson. That has really, really worked out, especially running to the right behind another killer, and that's Mr. Troy Fautano. Mr. Fautano, shaky game 1, game 2, his first real starting experience in the NFL. And since then, he has been a mauler. If you watch isolated video of him, he's killing people. And he has yet to allow a sack so far this season. So I want to back me up with PFL. And I know you can say whatever you want about PFL. You love them when they agree with you. You hate them when they don't. But they have the Steelers' offensive line as number 8 overall with a 79 average rating, which is really high for an average rating. Considering that the Steelers' highest rated guy is Mr. Zach Frazier, and he's only at 80. So that means the lowest guy is Broderick Jones at a 69, which is a vast improvement from last year. He's no longer the worst tackle in football. He's bottom 15, but he's not the worst tackle in football. So that's where I'm at.
And to segue from that, I kicked around what to make this grade because of Broderick Jones. I had to take the earlier season Broderick Jones to now Broderick Jones because I was between D- and a B. I landed at a C because I have to, point out the obvious. You could see for the first few weeks, it wasn't all coming together yet. And now we're starting to see them gel a little bit more. We're starting to see the cohesion with Broderick Jones and Isaac Seumalo or Anderson when he has to step in, or when when Darnell is partnered up with Broderick to, mitigate the pass rush coming from that side. Fun stat for you, by the way. When when Darnell lines up on either side of the line, I know those weights specifically. Do you know how much weight is on each side? Depending on.
Give me here. See what the problem is. The stats say Darnell's at 270. Darnell's 310 if he's a pound.
Yeah.
I would guess we're looking at 300 for a guard. Our tackles are probably 320 to 340. So that's 640. We'll say 630. And then Darnell's 300.
I should also include this is when we're in the jumbo as well.
With Spencer.
With Spencer.
So that side of the line is 1,200 pounds.
The left side is 1,365. The right side is 1,285.
I have another fun stat for you.
Yeah.
When they're running that jumbo package, the Steelers are averaging 7.4 yards a carry.
Which is beautiful.
And 4 yards a carry not in the jumbo package.
So do it more. I would say do it more.
Yeah. Well,
I'm there.
Obviously it's going to be predictable, but with that much weight, who cares?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
It's like the
entire
push.
point. Yeah.
There's nothing you can do
and
about
they've even implemented that.
Yeah. It's our, it's Hayward and Washington. That's how stuff. Washington just basically picks up Hayward
and Aaron
like
points.
A baby.
And Aaron just points.
Okay, we're moving on to the receivers. Wide receivers and tight ends. I bunched them together in one dismal package. I wanted to go lower here, but I looked over some stats, and let's just tell you what I got here. I gave them a C+. DK Metcalf has 29 catches for 467 yards. Not good in my estimation, considering the amount of money we're paying him. We're halfway through. Would you be happy with 60 catches on the year? I would not be. I think that we're using DKs in ways he's not used to. And early in the season, we could not throw the ball down the field because Aaron was going to die if we did. Things have kind of leveled out, but DK's still only catching 4 or 5 balls a game, which is not enough. They need to get DK the ball more. Where are we at here? The one glowing thing about DK, he is averaging 16.1 yards per catch, which is 7th in the league right now. And he's also he also has 275 yards after the catch, which is 3rd among wide receivers in the entire NFL. So the man makes things happen. We have to get him the ball more often. DK has to learn to run those little things and expect the ball quick because Aaron's getting that ball out fast as can be. I wanted to give them a lower grade, but I think we finally got Freiermuth into the offense now, which is helping out tremendously. Yes. We have between Freiermuth, we got DK with 5 touchdowns, which is respectable. I'm okay with the touchdown number. 7 would be better. 5's just fine. Freiermuth now getting to be a part of the game here. 19 catches for 227 and 3 touchdowns. Now that we're integrating him into the game, I think him and Aaron had a little heat in the beginning of the season.
I could see it.
And now I think Aaron trusts him, and I think we're going here. The biggest glowing disappointment so far is Jonnu Smith. He has 25 catches for a measly 159 yards. This guy led the league in yak last year, and he is averaging 6 yards a catch this year.
Yeah.
He is getting absolutely no yak.
And you know what? I kind of want to segue from that. Because you know this, I did these separately. And I feel like when we bundle them together, they get a grade a little high, but then there's explanation to go with it. So I gave them a B. Because I believe that in this room, when you supplement DK with Pat, Jonnu, Darnell, Connor, and then Calvin Austin, and then your Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, what have you, that room, if you combine them, looks better. You know, you're getting consistency. And there's a thing to be noted about the Jonnu Smith, point. I think they're using Jonnu in a really weird way to where it almost feels like they're using him as an H-back to where the pass to him is expected.
Okay, what do you mean in a weird way? What way should they be using him? What way are they using him?
I would almost attempt to throw him out at another receiver spot to where you could work him the way you're working DK. And I think you get a better burst out of Jonnu than you do DK. to where you can run the deep flies and things like that with DK, but open up the middle of the field with Jonnu Smith. Darnell can be the out guy.
John, who did drop a guaranteed 40-yard pass on the first play of the game. Yes, and that was a deep out.
It was slightly off of him to kind of balance the point. It was
hit
slightly. It did hit him in the one hand. But no, make Darnell the out guy, kind of make him the big tight end feel that we've seen from him so far. And Connor Hayward can wave. I have no problem with that. But then when you add in the Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, the room itself is a B grade because it is producing enough. But I don't like when you run out DK Metcalf and the Roundup gang at receiver and then have a bunch of great tight ends that can...
DK and the Munchkins.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Lollipop.
Yeah,
Did you see the picture earlier in the year when they all went out to Aaron's to pass the ball? And
DK and Calvin are standing right beside each other.
Calvin and Roman Wilson look like DK's little children.
Yes. But that's my whole thing. If you take the time at the deadline to make any type of move for a receiver, if you go get the Rashid Shaheed, if you go get the Chris Olave, if you go get even Calvin Ridley, would have been great, but it didn't happen.
Okay, there's a lot of things there.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go back and remember what the hell you said. If I would have did these separately, the tight ends would have got a B from me, maybe even a B+.
Yeah.
But I did them together, and the wide receivers drug the tight ends down. The tight end play, because when you think of tight ends, you got to consider the blocking that we're getting from these tight ends.
And it's great.
And we probably have the best group of tight ends in the NFL right now.
I would agree.
Jonnu, when he played for Miami, would literally just immediately throw the ball on the line of scrimmage, and then he was getting 7, 8. His wide receiver screens, basically, all year long. We've used him in various ways. He's just not producing in basically every way we use him. He's the new Ryan Switzer, Mr. No Yards After a Catch. So, I don't know. Maybe he'll pick it up. I don't know. We don't run the wide open offense that Miami ran, obviously. Right. So maybe he's having trouble. But he shouldn't, because he worked under the same offense multiple times with our offensive coordinator.
Both in Atlanta and, I believe...
Tennessee.
In Tennessee,
yeah. So, okay, we're going to move on. Where are we moving to? We're moving on to defensive line. Whew. Okay, I'm giving our defensive line a C+. Right now, they're middle of the pack against the run. Much better since the rookie sensation, I can't think of his rookie name.
Mr. Derek Harmon.
Derek Harmon has got back into the fold. We have right now our leading defensive lineman, of course, is Cam Hayward with 30 tackles. The defensive linemen themselves only have 7 sacks, which I don't think is enough. We need to get pressure with our base defense, and our line is not contributing enough. They're doing a decent job stopping the run, which I'm okay, and they're also doing a decent job keeping the inside linebackers clean, which I'm okay with. I have an idea for the defensive line later on that I'll share, but right now, Benton is leading the defenders, the defensive line, with 3.5 sacks. He has shown flashes of greatness this year.
I agree.
And I think I have a way to unlock the rest of that later on.
Yeah, I echo those same sentiments, and ironically enough, you and I landed at the same grade because of the, to be blunt, lack thereof performance by that group. I think that it is being a slow building progress with this group. I think that when you're paying a guy like Cam, you expect more. When you know the potential of what this group could be, you expect more. So I think ultimately when you just know what you're looking at, and seeing, like you said, Keanu Benton coming out and having a decent year with 3.5 sacks so far. I think you can only say it goes up from here, but for right now, it's a C+.
Benton's also been very disruptive, not getting the sack. He's caused.
Yeah.
He's got
his hands up a lot.
Yeah, and also had a lot of decent rushes causing pressure up the middle, which is the hardest pressure for a quarterback to deal with. All right, moving on to the linebackers. I gave the linebackers a B right now. They're probably the best defensive position on the team right now, the way they're playing. They've had their ups and downs, but so far they've got 16 sacks between the linebacker crew, which is pretty much on par. They usually get 35 to 40 sacks in a year. The team usually has 50 to 60. So that's pretty much on par with where they've been at. I've been disappointed by TJ Watt. He only has 5.5 sacks. He's showing up very sparingly in these games. He's still making impact plays, but they're few and far between. Biggest disappointment right now is the lack of playing time for Mr. Herbig. Herbig has 4.5 sacks, and about a third of the snaps was TJ Watt at 5.5 snaps. Herbig has the highest win rate in the NFL, higher than Myles Garrett, higher than Micah Parsons,
Max Crosby,
higher than all that stuff, and he's not getting on the field, which is crazy. They think he's a liability against the run. But the problem is, I think it's more of the amount of money they're pouring into their other two outside linebackers.
I could agree.
So they have to justify that salary and work Herbig in
the rotation.
Yes, as sparingly as they can. That's a problem. I think going forward, we're going to see some changes down the road, because right now we have aging Watt. We have a very expensive Alex Highsmith. We have Herbig, and we have an up-and-comer in Jack Sawyer. I think we're down the road, we're going to see a changing of the guard eventually in Pittsburgh. I will say this, bumping my grade, the defense has created a ton of fumbles. They have 4 fumble recoveries, and they also have 4 interceptions. They have the same amount of interception as the secondary. You might say that's super impressive, or does that mean the secondary is pretty bad? Stay tuned.
I echo those sentiments about the grade being a B, but I think I do it for different reasons. The edge guys give this group such a jump. The inside guys have been very lackluster. You paid Patrick Queen. You invested all this time into Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson has been getting burnt left, right.
A few moments later.
One game he shows up. Hi, TJ Watt.
He's leading the team.
Hi, TJ Watt.
He's leading.
Same guy.
He's leading the team with tackles. He's had more tackles. Like, he has 25 more tackles than anyone else on the team.
And in pass coverage, he is in outer space. Same with Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen
has had very good sparks this year where he showed up, which is more than I could say for last year. Peyton Wilson may make the Pro Bowl this year.
Doubtful.
How much you
Undeserved.
I'll bet you.
Undeserved.
How much you want to fucking bet?
Okay, if it was one game, my God, this whole team would be on a Pro Bowl
Guess
roster.
what? You're complaining that he got burnt against teams like Cincinnati and Green Bay, and that was more scheme than freaking anything else.
Call it what it is.
Guess what happened this week? They backed up. They simplified it. They actually ran zone blitzes this freaking week, which they haven't done since Dick LeBeau's ghost freaking appeared on the freaking
I don't
team.
disagree.
It was a scheme problem. They got tore up against Cincinnati with little tiny slants to Jamar Chase in the middle of the freaking field, and they were blitzing the inside linebackers almost every freaking play against Joe Flacco, someone that knows what to do when you blitz him.
Yeah.
And the middle of the field was wide freaking open the entire freaking game. That has more to do with scheme than anything else. Peyton Wilson is probably the most gifted athletic linebacker in the game right now with the speed he has and the decent size. He's a sure tackler. I think you're missing the boat. I really think, unless you were planning on him being all pro this year, then I think your criticism is...
I mean, I'm not going to say I wanted him as an all pro, but what I wanted was more than I've gotten, at least up and until this last game, which I will say was fantastic. He had what I wanted to see in him in that game.
He
But
won
up
us
until
he won us a game earlier in the year where he ran down the field and tackled the guy on the 1 yard line and then caused the team to take too much time to score.
and this game was
It was either the Jets or Patriots. It was one of those games. They had a short touchdown. He chased the play down like 45 yards, tackled the guy on the 1 yard line, and then they took another minute and a half to score from the 1 yard line, which did not allow them enough time to get back into the freaking game.
okay. I think we're just seeing it from two different perspectives.
Well, no, I mean, I could
And
understand
maybe
before
I'm
this
just-
game, you could say it's been slightly disappointing, but you made it sound like he's you're making it sound like he's freaking, what's his name that plays for Cleveland? The number one pick, what's his name? Plays for Cleveland, terrible. His
Devin
dad's
Bush?
Yeah, you're making it sound like he's Devin Bush. He's not Devin
No,
Bush.
I don't think he's Devin Bush levels. But what I will say is, we'll go complete fairness. We'll go 6 out of 8 games. Looked underwhelming. Looked less than what I expected.
Well, it all goes into what you expected. I
Yeah.
expected a young guy going into his second year who really hadn't started every play yet in the NFL.
Okay, here's a good question then. If you had to choose right now, Peyton Wilson or Carson Schlesinger? Schlesinger's injured as well. I know you throw the injury out. Who are you
I know
picking?
what I'm going to get with Peyton Wilson.
And
I think
Carson
Peyton Wilson's
Schlesinger-
going to be an all-pro.
I agree. And I think if Carson Schlesinger isn't hurt, I think he tops Peyton.
I don't think he's as well-rounded as Peyton Wilson can be. Peyton Wilson has the ability to be a very good cover linebacker.
And I don't disagree, but I think Schlesinger does too. And I think I think we're looking at a division with two of the best young.
We could have had Schlesinger if we wanted to.
I don't disagree. Could you imagine if we did?
Uh,
That group.
I'm
would
not
have been-
happy with Queen completely,
neither.
but he's shown flashes this year, which somebody hasn't even given us since he's got here.
Right.
And to be honest with you, he's playing better than Roquan Smith is playing.
Agreed.
So
And that Ravens defense is severely lackluster as it is, and it just goes to show that. Roquan
everyone
Smith-
said that Queen wasn't any good. He
Yeah.
was only good because of
only good
Roquan.
because of Roquan. But as it shows now, Roquan can't carry that defense.
No.
So in a vacuum, Queen's not as bad as they made him out to be, but he's not as great.
He's
as
not
he could
$14
be.
million a year
Right.
good.
Right.
He's not worth the pay.
And then Peyton Wilson is, as you said it, a young guy. I think, I'll even knock it down further. 5 out of 8 games have been underwhelming for Peyton Wilson.
Okay. Think back in the 2 years Peyton's been on the team.
Yes.
How many games can you say that he looked like one of the best linebackers in football?
Handful.
Like 2 or 3.
Handful.
For me, for a 2-year guy that was a third-round pick,
Yes.
I think that's pretty promising.
Oh, I would agree with that.
How many times has Patrick Queen looked like the best linebacker in football?
In his career?
No, since he's been with the Steelers.
Since he's been here. None.
Exactly. How much has any linebacker we've had in the last 5 years looked like the best linebacker, inside linebacker? Since Shazier, when's the last time we had any linebacker look like one of the best linebackers in football?
Since Shazier?
Yes.
I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, well, that's my point.
Yeah.
So
don't
I think
disagree
we have a
with you.
chance with Peyton. So
I
let's not murder him quite yet.
I think you're right.
I don't even mean to jump in like that.
Yeah, no.
But I was going to explode.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. But from being a nitpick of the position in, multiple games this year, I have seen Peyton Wilson deer in headlights in the middle of the field more often.
I think the defense is overcomplicated.
I don't disagree with
think
that.
that they-
Because look at the difference between the
Yes.
past 2 weeks.
Here's the thing about Mike. Mike has been a coach for 18 years.
Yeah.
Mike is a defensive coach. I don't care who you say, what you say, anything. Other than the first couple of years with LeBeau still on the team.
Yeah.
Mike has been 100% control on this defense. When you're the head guy on a team that long, you have to justify your existence somehow. So every year you got a new wrinkle you put in. And then every year, next year, you add something else. And every year, next year, you add something else. I think that their defense has got so convoluted and difficult that it's hard for new people. And plus, the Steelers now are relying on young guys and new guys to the team. And these guys are not picking up on the nuances of this freaking defense.
Nor are they spring chickens.
No.
Nor are they young.
Well, I'm just saying that we're trying to do this mixture of things. We no longer draft and build.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't do it anymore. We're picking up guys. We're the Rams. We're grabbing people from everywhere and expect these guys just to immediately jump in and get this complicated scheme defense is obviously too much. Because how many times have you heard communication is the problem?
Yes.
Communication is the problem.
Yes.
We've been hearing that for 3 years, 4 years. So I think that we might be on the right path.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to go here. I don't want to go here. But we're on to the secondary. When I decided to grade the secondary, the first thing that came to my mind is, where do I begin? I gave them a D- because I'm a positive guy, and give it an F just wouldn't be positive. It's been a freaking train wreck. We've had, God damn, my brain's not freaking working. Number 5.
Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey has had moments of greatness in this game. Jalen Ramsey is too old to match up one-on-one with the best receivers from the other team. He just doesn't have the speed. I think we finally got Jalen Ramsey in a place where he deserves. He's a banger, playing safety, very intelligent. I think we're going to be fine there. But up until now, he's been, other than the splash plays, a disappointment. The rest of them have been garbage. Joey Porter Jr., I looked up his penalties, and I'm shocked to see he only has 5 accepted penalties against him, because it seems like he has 150. He seems like he gets 10 a game. So they must have, he must have held and they caught the ball for 20 yards, or interfered and they still caught the ball. I really think after this year, we ought to consider moving Joey Porter to either safety or bulk him up and move him to linebacker, because I just don't think he can cover the elite wide receivers in this league. He can't cover the mediocre wide receivers in this freaking league at this freaking point. Darius Slay makes me wish that Pat Pete was still on the team.
I can't walk.
He's worse than Pat Pete. Pat Pete, I love him to death, but he was here 2 years. By the middle of the second year, it was apparent he couldn't cover anybody. Darius Slay is not even in the conversation. Pat Pete was near the ball. Darius Slay is not even close to being able to cover people. He's done. Great career. You have a chance to get into Canton.
Based on Detroit and Philly.
Thank you on your have fun on your future endeavors. And honestly, I think Eccles is a surprise coming in right now. I think he's going to help. It can't hurt, because this is literally, let me go over the stats here. I didn't even put the stats on there. They're worse in every freaking category. They're worse than pass yards. They're worse than freaking everything. They've been absolutely terrible. Looked better last game. Still gave up 330 or 40 yards to Daniel Jones, but they did get turnovers. 4 picks, same amount as the linebackers, which is not good when your secondary has the same amount of interceptions as your linebackers. They've been a disaster. I have hope, because I love my Steelers, that it's going to be better moving forward. I didn't write anything down. I didn't even put any freaking stats down, because they're just bad. They're just freaking awful. Probably one of the worst secondaries that I've seen as a Pittsburgh fan.
I have to give disclosure when I give this grade because the safeties carry this grade. And it's a C-.
I wish I had you in high school.
The safeties carry this grade because it's a C-. In 1 week of being here, Kyle Duggar exceeded my expectations 100%. Being down without Elliott, bringing in Jabril Peppers, and staying as effective in the run game against Jonathan Taylor, pass game aside for at least right now, because you hit the nail on the head. The pass game is downright horrendous. Something needs to change. Foreshadowing. But the run game that those safeties have provided this defense, I would say has been good. Probably the most redeeming quality of
they can
that
all
secondary.
tackle.
Yeah,
They're all bangers.
It's the redeeming quality of that secondary.
The worst of the bunch,
Yeah.
is a banger.
Is a hitter.
Chuck Clark
Hitter.
is a banger.
Yeah, they're all hitters. So I can't.
If the other team wasn't allowed to pass, we'd be the number one defense in the
Oh, my
NFL.
God. Far and away. But if I was going corners and safeties, corners would get the F, safeties would get the B. Just rounds, I would just give it the C, if you even go C-.
Safeties, for me, if I did separately, would probably get a C or C+. Corners would get an F. So I'd be right where I'm at. No, I'd be like a D+, probably.
Yeah.
But there is hope.
Yeah.
There is hope.
Yeah.
Like I said, simplified. I think it's going to help out. Jalen playing safety is definitely going to help out. Quarterback of the defense, smartest guy on the field. Other than Aaron, because Aaron's a freaking genius. But I mean, I think things are looking up with that. One thing we didn't add that I'm just going to throw in now.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment.
Biggest surprise, I mean, over the last few weeks, it's been Roger Jones. I mean...
From the beginning of the year, though.
Yeah, from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so preseason to now, biggest surprise.
Okay, so you're using surprise and disappointment.
Yeah, surprise is a good thing.
Yeah, and a disappointment, obviously. Okay, so... Biggest positive surprise. Derek Harmon came into the season injured, wasn't really sure what kind of production we were going to get. Came in and was an absolute terror. Turned this defensive front around. Because first game against the Jets looked horrible. Since then, there has been a fluent level of increase in production from that defensive line since the beginning of the year. So if I would go biggest surprise, Derek Harmon. I mean, the first round talent and grade and selection tells me I should have expected this, but how much that steady level of production has increased, I would view that as a surprise.
See, I expected that from Harmon, so it's not really a surprise for me. I have to think about this because I don't really have an answer in my head right now. Positive surprise. I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
I can understand
I didn't
that.
expect him to be this good. I didn't expect him to have even the slightest bit of mobility that he has. He has more mobility than Russell Wilson had last year.
Agreed.
I think it has to be Aaron Rodgers. I never expected this. I knew the brain was there. I knew that he'd be able to. We'd see passes that we haven't seen in a long time. I never expected him to be this good. All right, so biggest disappointment.
Darius Slay. I kind of had a hope that with Ramsey and Porter and Eccles, we could hide the age that Darius Slay would show. I was kind of hoping that we could disguise it in a way that he would have enough help both over the top and laterally that, you wouldn't see the age come up on
Like
Darius
Pat
Slay.
Pete. We are able to protect Pat Pete.
Yes. And the way that, these opposing teams have just said, No, we know you're old. We know you're old. And they've exposed it time after time after time. Biggest disappointment is Darius Slay, and I hate to admit it because I had such high hopes.
I'm torn between two players here. I'm going to tell you who my biggest disappointment is, but then I'm going to tell you who I could have said. My biggest disappointment because it pretty much is proven now that this player is probably a bust, and that's Joey Porter Jr. This is year 3.
Okay.
I don't think he's ever going to develop into that number one, take out your best guy, cornerback that we all hoped he would be.
Yeah.
I think he's out of position, like I said earlier. I think he needs to move to safety and be a banger, or he needs to bulk up and move to linebacker.
Yeah.
That's where his blood is.
Yeah.
I was going to say Mr. Caleb Johnson. When we drafted Caleb, I assumed by like game 5,
He would be the bell
he would
cow.
be our starting running back.
I
thought he would
almost
take
went
it
with
over.
him.
It's mainly his fault, but it's also he has not had the opportunities. And he made that one glaring mistake. But he's not Paul Craig, and he's not going to go to the Japanese league and then disappear into
Obscurity.
existence. If you guys are Pirate fans, you'll get that reference.
Will Craig. Love him.
Was it Paul Craig?
Will Craig.
Will Craig. Close enough. Paul Craig's an actor, isn't he? Isn't that the British guy? who
Could be.
Played James Bond or something?
Could be. Something like that. Or we could have went with a...
I thought Caleb Johnson would be our number one running back right now and dominating. Yeah. The way he played at Iowa was ideal for the Steeler team, and he really hasn't had the opportunity. So I'm disappointed with that.
Yeah, I almost went with Caleb Johnson, but, to your point earlier, the opportunities weren't there, so I couldn't, really justify him being the disappointment. So I had to go with what was the glaring hole, and that was Darius Slay.
Who's your team MVP?
Is there really a conversation for this?
All right, we're going to the same answer, I think.
It's, and excuse my French, Aaron fucking Rodgers.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I don't care what anybody says on any given day. You said it best yourself. He processes things faster than a majority of people on this planet, let alone quarterbacks
that quick
at the position.
slant to Washington on the goal line.
Yeah.
Washington's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
That ball was on the ground before Washington even knew what was going on.
I don't think other quarterbacks win this many games with this team as he does because he is that smart. I think there is something to be said.
For ayahuasca?
Yes. No. I think there's something to be said that this is the leader that this team needed the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean,
we could have had him too.
Yeah, we could have. And we drafted some kid from Pitt. And then we went to Russell
still
Wilson
think Kenny
and
could have worked
Fields.
out.
Yeah, could have.
I still do. I still think Kenny could have worked out. Not to be the level where Rodgers is now.
Yeah.
I think if they were patient with him and didn't screw with him, that things could have worked. He could have been a decent, like a Sam Darnold kind of quarterback.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, I just think, and he might still end up being somebody. You never freaking know.
Maybe we could see a Sam Darnold type revitalization.
Well, yeah, or Kirk
from him.
Cousins, revival.
Yeah,
like
there's always that chance.
Opportunity knocks.
But when we knew the Green Bay was done with him, if he would have just said, you know what, Ben's gone, I'll go help this team. Where would we be right now? Where would we be?
We wouldn't have won a Super Bowl, but we would have had
We
some
would have
playoff
played
wins.
well.
Yeah, we would have playoff wins for sure.
Yeah.
All right, now the final thing. 3 things that you would do to help this team further on. Could be this year, could be into the future. I'm going to start. My number one thing that needs to freaking happen, and I'll preface this with the fact that I'm a huge Ohio State fan. We need to get Will freaking Howard off the injured reserve and tell Mr. Skylar Thompson to arrivederci, bon voyage. I know Howard's practicing right now, but he has a short window where they either have to activate him or he's out for the rest of the year, can't practice, can't do anything. I want Will to develop, and the only way he can develop is be practicing daily and working with these guys. That's number 1. Number 2, get freaking Nick Herbig on the field. I don't care how I put him at nose tackle. I don't give a shit. Put him on the freaking field. When he's on the field, good things happen.
You know, I would almost incline to take Patrick Queen off the field.
Could you wait till I finish and then you can...
Well, I was just agreeing with your point.
Okay, we'll just get to it. We're going to do our things and then we'll talk about it at the end. I don't mean to be rude.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
It's kind of how it is. And I think Caleb Johnson needs some sort of opportunity. We need to see going into year 2 if this is somebody that we're going to have and feature or if we need to get another running back next year. Because I think that Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are complementary backs. I don't think they're the feature back that you need for this freaking team. So we need in these last 8 games to see if there's any glimpse that Caleb Johnson can be that man. Comments?
Yeah. So, okay, so we'll start with the first thing. Howard and get rid of Skyler. Personal opinion, you're getting rid of the wrong guy. Get rid of Mason.
We've had this. We already had this conversation.
But I feel like even if, we don't feel as confident with Will and Skyler, guess what? You drafted Will. You're bringing Mason back on a returning contract. He's the highest dollar value that you have. And let's face it.
We have a ton of cap room.
Of the 4 quarterbacks you've seen both in the preseason and now, who's the weakest link? Mason Rudolph.
Skyler.
Really?
Skyler had a good preseason. Kenny Pickett had the greatest preseason in NFL history.
I get it.
And he was terrible going into the freaking season. Skylar Thompson has never been good on any team. He's had 7 years to prove he was a good quarterback, and he hasn't done it. Mason Rudolph has won games in the NFL. Everybody's like, oh, Skylar got his team to the playoff. Skylar played one freaking game. They got to a playoff game, and he was like 7 of 20-something in that playoff game for like 80 yards or something like that.
I don't disagree. It's just a difference in opinion.
Yeah, I understand that. But you can't just take a couple good preseason games and say he's better than Mason freaking Rudolph. Mason Rudolph here's the thing, because Rodgers, he's been playing great. He's 40 freaking 1.
Yeah.
Something could happen.
Yeah.
Because of now, if Will Howard wouldn't have got hurt earlier in the year, and he had practiced this entire time, I would say, fine, let Mason go. I trust Will Howard to get in here. Sure. He is not freaking ready.
Right.
So you're going to go to Skylar Thompson. If you gave me a choice, Skylar Thompson or Mason Rudolph, I'm taking Mason Rudolph every damn time. Because at least at the very minimum, he's not going to screw it up.
Can I ask you this in rebuttal?
Yes.
So, you're telling me that Mason in this offense, limited mobility, limited versatility.
He has more mobility than the Rodgers does.
Okay.
He's 10 years younger.
But that's not where we're going. That's not where we're going. And to be fair, looking back at his Tennessee tape from last year.
Terrible team.
Terrible team. But wait. You're telling me that Mason with this team would be better than Skyler could be when he came from the dumpster fire that was the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, they made the playoffs when he was there.
Doesn't matter. I think this team is more competent than a Mike McDaniel-led Dolphins team.
Okay, well, Tennessee's about to have the number 1 pick die on the field.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. Skylar Thompson has done nothing in the NFL. Mason Rudolph has had success in the NFL.
Sure.
3-game run got the Steelers into the freaking playoffs. Actually had a decent game against the Bills. Yeah. Very competitive game against the Bills. I'm not saying any choice is a good choice.
Yeah.
But it depends. If Rodgers is hurt, like gone, done.
Yeah.
Then I'd really roll the dice doing anything.
Yeah.
But if we just need someone to come in for a couple freaking games, I want that to be Mason Rudolph. You just can't roll the dice with someone that's never had any success in the NFL, and I don't want to just throw Will Howard to the wolves either. So, like I said, we went around the league and said, hey, we got Skylar Thompson here. You guys give us something for him?
Yeah.
Guess what? No one gave us anything for him. Yeah. That's why he's still here.
Yeah.
So, trust me, that's been pursed. If we threw him away tomorrow, if Mason sucked, he'd still be there for us to pick up the next day. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Do yours.
Herbig Moore, I think there's plenty that could be said there. You have to find a way to get him out there.
I was thinking about moving T.J. Watt inside on some plays. Have Herbig, because they do it with Jack Sawyer.
Yeah.
They brought Jack Sawyer in and put him at like at the defensive tackle position next to TJ.
I think there is something to be said about that.
So
or what I think you could do is experiment with putting Highsmith in the middle. You could move around a lot of different pieces, but I think I do agree with, finding more reps and opportunity for Herbig, because I think there's something to be said when all three of them are on the field at one time.
Yeah.
Fireworks. Imagine if you can figure out a way to get all four. Playing a dime 1-4.
It would have to be a passing situation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Putting all four of them on the field at the same time.
Because if it was a running situation, they could.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah, we have a 250-pound line.
Yeah. And then getting Caleb Johnson more opportunities. I want to. Problem is can this running game be consistent enough to say we can go from Jaylen Warren to Kenneth Gainwell to Caleb Johnson, any of that mix, and still show the production. I want to see. I think we're in theory going the right direction by wanting him to get more opportunities, but if we see the mistakes that we've seen so far,
What mistakes on offense, other than that one kick? What mistakes has he made on offense?
I think it says enough. I think
It does
kick
it.
says enough.
Dude.
It's such a farce rule. It's a farce rule, but you can't make that
The
mistake.
infallible Mitch.
You can't
How
make
many
that
dumb
mistake.
things have you done in your life? Do they define you?
Am I $1 million
Doesn't
athlete?
matter. It doesn't mean anything. Or on your job, have you ever done something stupid?
Yes.
Should you have been fired and never allowed into the building again?
Probably.
That's ridiculous.
Probably.
It's ridiculous.
For the stupid things I've done,
It's
breaking the
ridiculous.
fourth wall, yes, I probably should be.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm not getting paid millions and millions of
Neither
dollars.
is he. He's a rookie.
Okay, I'm not getting paid $850,000.
All right. That's more average.
Yeah.
$400,000 after taxes.
Yeah, but that's still the point.
It doesn't matter. People make mistakes. I can show you a list of Hall of Famers
that
have
made mistakes.
did dumb things. I mean, it happens. It just freaking happens. It won't happen again. I guarantee you
I
that.
can guarantee you that.
I had one more, and I don't mean to prolong my segment.
Go ahead.
Keanu Benton, I want to get him off the nose. Occasionally,
agreed.
I want to move either Harmon down
Yes.
or bring in Y.A. Black and
Yes.
get him at a defensive tackle.
Yes,
Because I think he has shown burst this year to get pressure on the quarterback, and he'd be more advantageous doing that from a defensive tackle position.
Yes. Because he's not going head up. He has rush angles that he can take instead of blowing a center, nose up. I think that's great there.
He looks like the fastest defensive lineman we have.
Yeah.
I mean, he's shown some incredible burst. I want to get him off the nose. He's an undersized nose tackle,
I think Y.A. Black should be there personally.
but he's coming along.
Yeah.
He's coming along.
Oh,
He's not.
absolutely.
He's going to need more reps.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I think in the maybe not so long-term future, I think you could see a world where Y.A. Black is the nose, Benton and Harmon are your edge-ish rushers.
Yes.
TJ and Highsmith or whatever version of that gang you want out there. I think that is the formula for defensive success.
I think next
when it
year,
comes to this group.
either Highsmith or TJ will not be in with the team.
I agree.
One of the two will not be.
I agree. And I think it's the less likely option that is no longer here.
And if it was my choice, TJ would not be with the team.
I'm not saying this is my choice.
$41 million,
I agree.
and he's older.
I agree. I think what they will do is I think they will move Highsmith.
Highsmith's been hurt. He was out 4 games.
Yeah.
He has 3.5 sacks.
Yes.
He has 2 less sacks than TJ.
Yeah.
In two-thirds
I
of the
think
time.
they will just try to go off the age factor and be like, oh, his value was at its best, and I felt like we needed a return on investment. And I feel like it'll be
Yeah,
just a,
depending on how TJ ends up. He has 5.5 sacks. If he ends up with 15,
yeah.
we can still get a first round for him. If he
Yeah.
ends up with 12, we're probably going to get a second round pick
Yeah.
for him. Maybe a second and a fourth, second and a fifth. I don't care. I want to move the money.
Yeah.
And we have some very good players that are going to
That
be
are
coming.
sitting there.
Yeah, I don't want Jack Sawyer to end up
Feeling unvalued. And,
Ohio State coach right now.
Vrabel.
Vrabel. I don't want him to like Mike
don't
Vrabel.
want to Vrabel him. No.
Mike Vrabel was ready to start, and we had Kevin Green. Greg Lowe.
Greg Lowe was out there. Jason Gilden, I believe, was here.
We had two studs ahead of me, so he moved on, and the rest is history.
And then somehow that gave
700
named
Super
Joey
Bowl
Porter.
rings later, and now a great coach.
Yep.
All right, what's your 3 things?
3 changes. I'll go with the immediate, and I'll go, the rest of the season, and then I'll go end of season.
Do go whatever. Go
Start with the immediate. Sign Asante Samuel Jr. Sign him, please.
I think they're going to try to do that.
And I do too, because he'll be here on Wednesday.
Yes.
But I think this is that way, like I said earlier, that you can disguise Slay's age by getting him the hell off my field. Put him out there in situational packages that you have to, if anything. But more than that, get off the field, let Asante Samuel play. Point 2, expand this passing game. And what I mean by that is, we've already seen by the trade deadline that we're not adding pieces to this offense receiving
core.
core.
A receiver.
Yeah, ooh, MVS. Whoa. But what I'm saying is, figure out a way to get the pass game moving in more ways than DK slant route. Hide the midget as much as possible. Find a way to get these guys the ball in space and create yards after catch. To your point about Jonnu Smith, Tennessee and Miami found a way to create yards after catch for Jonnu Smith. Find a way to create yards after catch for this team. You're not creating enough of that with what you have. So expand it more than what you already have. And then my long-standing goal, or a thing I would change, sorry to be this person, if this defense doesn't come around, you have to fire Terrell Austin. You have to fire Terrell Austin.
You say that like it's I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's been underwhelming since he took over the defensive coordinator job. It hasn't been good. And, if you fire Austin and you say, okay, well, Tomlin, you're the defensive guy, take over. Show your work. Show me what you're doing. If it's not going to correct itself this season, we have to start weeding out the problem. And if it starts with firing Terrell Austin, fine by me.
Okay. Last thing first. They should have fired Terrell Austin a year and a half ago.
Agreed?
Here's the thing. He's not the defensive coordinator.
Correct.
Mike Tomlin is.
He's the defensive scapegoat.
I don't never fire Terrell Austin.
Because he's a
Mike,
Tomlin guy.
He's a scapegoat
Yeah.
for everything going wrong.
Right.
If Tomlin is just Tomlin, then guess who gets blamed for everything?
Terrell Austin.
No, Tomlin. If Terrell Austin's gone and it's just Tomlin.
Then it's Tomlin that gets the blame.
Yeah.
But that's how it should be.
But it's not going to be.
It's not going to be because of ancient history, but we won't go there.
I mean, we had a better defensive coordinator on the staff a year ago, or was it 2 years ago now? And now he's in Minnesota.
Yeah. And it would have been better. It would have been better.
Mike's not giving up those reins. Mike is the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That's, firing him is like, I don't know, think of any stand-in he's an avatar of Mike Tomlin. He's not,
I get it.
All right, well, the other points. Spreading the offense. Here's the problem. The way our offense is right now with the quick passes and us emphasizing running game, the defenses are stacking the boxes.
Yeah.
Which makes the short and intermediate throws very difficult to generate a lot of yak unless your name's DK Metcalf and you're a freak who can break tackles and fly. We need to spread the defense out.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they're just going to. That's not Arthur Smith. That's not his offense.
But can I offer you MVS.
It's fixed.
Yeah, it's fixed.
All
it's
of
done.
our
all of our
don't
problems
matter.
are fixed.
It's over.
It's
We
fixed.
got MBS.
It's MVS.
Okay, predictions. Let's get record and where they go.
I'm going to go between.
No,
Okay.
not between.
5-3 the rest of the year.
Yeah, so 10-6. No, we can't be 5-3 the rest of the year.
I'm sorry, 6-3 the rest of the year.
We're not going to play that last game.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
We got 10 wins.
We'll
We're
go
all right.
6-3 the rest of the year.
All right, so 11-6.
Yeah.
And what happens? What seed and how far do we get?
It's between the 2 and 3 seed. And
So you're saying we're winning the division.
yeah. And I will go. We are, as it stands in this current path, loser of the conference championship.
All right, so we're going to win 2 games.
Yes.
That's bold.
It is bold.
That is bold.
It is bold.
All right, I also have us going 6-3 the rest of the way. I just looked at the schedule, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to split with Baltimore. I think we're going to beat Cincinnati. I think we're probably going to beat the Cleveland Browns are a wreck. I think between Buffalo, the Chargers, who else we have? The Lions.
Yes.
I think we're going to win 2 of those 3 games.
Yes.
I don't know which
I
2.
think we can.
I think we might blow a game against the Bears.
You know, I think we win one of those, but we don't split with Baltimore.
You think we win both games against Baltimore?
I do.
Ooh.
I do.
Okay. I have us. I think we're going to win the division. Because honestly, the Ravens basically have to play mistake-free football the rest of the way. And Lamar is good for a couple screw-ups along the way.
Absolutely.
So I think, once again, we're going to be a 2 or 3 seed. I see us winning 1 playoff game and then losing in the divisional round. To probably a Buffalo, or if we're a 3 seed, then probably, well, we would play if we're a 3 seed, we would play Buffalo.
6 seed.
We would play the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're going to bow out, which is an improvement from last year.
Which is, at this moment, New England, but it won't stay.
Who do you have winning the Super Bowl? Who plays and who wins?
Why would you do this to me? Buffalo from the AFC. Tucker Kraft. If Tucker Kraft doesn't get hurt, I like Green Bay's odds. But without Tucker Kraft, I feel like that takes a safety blanket away from Jordan Love. So I will go with a very quiet pick, Seattle Seahawks.
You gotta be kidding me!
And I think Buffalo finally figures it out.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I got Buffalo finally getting there, and I have Seattle surprising freaking everybody.
Yeah, it feels like that kind of year. I mean, nobody counted on.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, nobody counted on either. Well, nobody counted on Seattle coming into the deadline and being like, okay, we need receiver help. We're going to do that. We have solidified the offensive line. Darnold is they know his limitations. They know how to play off of his limitations. They can win games. They have a formula. They didn't move off of any of the secondary pieces that they thought they were going to move off of. I think they're fine.
One thing I didn't point out when you were doing the AFC, for the Steelers to be a number 2 seed, we have 7-2 teams. We have 1 7-2 in the West, 1 7-2 in the East.
Yeah.
One of those 2 teams would have to collapse for the Steelers to get to 2 seed.
We know who that's going to be.
Well, I mean, but
It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts.
well, that's the Central. We have actually 3 7-2 teams. We have Denver at 7-2.
Yeah.
We have Indianapolis at 7-2. We have Buffalo at 7-2.
Well, the thing about that is
So 2 of those 7-2 teams would have to collapse.
Denver will hover splitting that division title with Kansas City Denver will hover, splitting that AFC West title with Kansas City. That game's going to get decided by a win. Indianapolis went from the 4th easiest start to the 5th hardest end. I think there is a path that gets Pittsburgh up into the 2nd seed if they live up to their expectations.
I see Indy going 4-5, so they would be 11-6 with the Steelers. Steelers 1 straight up. Steelers would get the bump.
Yep.
Denver, I think they still have the Chargers one time. They still have Kansas City one time. I could see them also finishing 11th, but we don't play Denver this year, so
it would have
all
to be
go
off
to
the
divisional
difference of
round.
opponents.
2nd or 3rd seed is definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that's all for today. This took freaking forever, so
Yes, it did.
You're probably sick of seeing this if you already haven't, bailed on us. We did have pork chops not pork chops. We had chicken thighs in the interim, and you're jealous. I know it. I appreciate you joining us. Let's hope the Steelers finish the season great. I appreciate you. You will see us again. Peace and love. Stop talking over the outro. I put music here.